Hey everybody, what's up? Serial Experiments here. Today I want to show you a really cool technique using the Trident number 3 skill on Mesmer underwater. It allows you to break out of bounds and also it allows you to fly very high distances. This has been showcased in a couple of videos. Mine included, I think it was part 2 of 3 of the breaking into objectives, but there was no voice overlay to kind of describe how it works. I've been using it a lot lately and it's been a lot of fun. And it's really just fun when your teammates are breaking down the door and you're sitting above the door and just slash laughing. So, used to your own expense, I feel the more popular these techniques are, the more likely they are to be fixed. I've never seen more comments about them on the forums, so here's hoping that with an abundance of use, we either even the playing field so that everybody's using them, or they get fixed, one or the other, right? That either way it's good. Like it's a new thing in the game or it gets expunged and fixed. I'm hoping for the fixed, but in the meantime, while this stuff is has used to be known to a fewer amount of people, I'm now exposing it to a more larger audience as I did my own research into it. And yeah, I'd like to show you what I learned. So before we get into the jumps and the out of bounds, I want to show you how the camera feature works. So it works, the golem is the best way to demonstrate this. So in the golem, as I move about and I shoot my number 1 skill, you can see that it always does this basic arc, right? Unless I'm targeted on something, but pretty standard arc, right? Now, let's assume that I wanted to like shoot more upwards. Maybe I just zoom all the way in and look up. If I do that, you can see the shattering. I am just shooting into the ground, right? So that did not work, whatever I just did there. It's odd because the game assumes that this way up here is my back facing and that this is my forward facing, which is not what we wanted, right? We want this to be back facing and that to be forward facing. So how do we tell the game where our camera is located? How do you do that? Let's discuss it. So the way you do this is you need to fully zoom in completely into your golem. And you can look around all you want, doesn't matter. But what sets the camera, and I'm going to look straight up. What sets the camera is, and you're going to see this with the new thing I have over here to show you what buttons I'm clicking. You're going to hold right click once you're looking where you want to do. And I think you just have to move in any direction, but I always do a little shimmy, a little left right. So I'm going to do left right AD, and then I'm going to pull out. Now I can move my camera all about. As long as I don't move the golem, I'm not changing the position of the camera. So remember, I was looking straight up. So if I fire, boom, completely straight up. Look at those missiles. All the way up there. And you could do this for a plethora of different things, right? So if there was siege up on here that even though you're targeted on like an AC that's right on the edge of the stairs, right? You know how like people like set them up right here. Well, if you just learn your lineups, which I am not great at this lineup, but give it a shot. And let's see, how does this hit? No, see that's way too high. But you kind of get the point. If you play around with it, you'll be able to master this technique. But we're not really here to talk about golems. This is just a way to demonstrate the other things that I'm going to be showing you. So let's dive into the other things, shall we? Let's do it. All right, so here what we're going to be doing is taking our Trident 3 and pushing ourselves over this objective. This is the outside of bay in the water. We're lining ourselves up right in this specific spot. Otherwise, we might end up inside one of these walls because our backwards momentum is so strong. We're lining up our camera. You'll see I just held right click, did a left right. I'm going to wait for my swiftness from my signet, and then I'm going to use my super speed for my spear 4. I'm going to swap to Trident, use my number 3, shatter, boom, I'm in. All right, so now that we did outer, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on inner. A little bit different. We're just going to use a certain wall. The veteran archer there can be a little tricky. Sometimes he'll shoot you and knock you back while you're flying up in the air. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line ourselves up against a platform. We're going to try and look 180 degrees away from it. I use the about face key. We go a little bit under the water. We're holding our right click. As we're looking at the ground, we shift left, right. We're going to give ourselves super speed. We've got a speed rune on, or a speed relic, I should say, and pop. We shoot straight up, and we're into our objective. Pretty easy. I'll be showing you that technique a few more times. Let's jump into those. We'll show you how to break out of bounds. All right, so here we are in EBG. We're in the green corner, which is great because this is where I intend to break out. There's a thin wall over here near Jerifers, which we're just going to use the same technique we've been doing. We're going to position our camera so that our back is facing straight up, and we're just going to use the backwards momentum of Trident 3 to push us out of the wall. Here we go. Easy peasy. Um, Underneath the map, it's always water, so this is what you can expect to see. Um, I guess it's important to note that it's a lot easier the faster you're going, and I think the broken momentum of the Trident 3 allows you to have no cap, and that's why you can push so far. That it's just the more movement speed you have, the better it is. The higher up you will go in those first section, and the harder you'll push out of bounds. So here we are in Cloven, and we're just going to step up onto the supply hut and blink through the floor. Now you could use Sword 3 if you don't own it to go to the Quartermaster, but yeah, it's Cloven. Let's go on to Wild Creek now. Alright, so here we are doing the exact same thing. We're going to get set up in position. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but after you zoom fully in, you hold right click and you shimmy left right. It's important to zoom out once. So you'll notice that after I've done my shimmying, I zoom out once, and now you're fully set up. So now you just set up super speed, wait for your swiftness, and then shatter with your Trident 3, and boom, you're outside. So this time we're going to head over to Wild Creek, show you the position right there. It's worth noting that while you're underneath the water, your nameplate is visible from above. So if you're trying not to be noticed, or you don't want people making a big fuss of you being under here, you can swim further down. It's just that eventually as you swim further down, you will get a notice that you are heading into the out of bounds area, and it'll basically, if you stay in that area, it'll port you back to spawn. So just be wary of that. The closer you swim to the surface, the more visible you are. All right, so we're entering in Wild Creek right now. For this one, we're not going to use the supply hut. Instead, we're going to use the stairway. This is the second of 4 objectives that you could just blink right into from underneath the water. So fell off there, but then we're just going to go ahead and get back on it and just blink. There you are. So let's go over the green keep now. All right, so by now you're getting the gist of it. We're just lining ourselves up against this wall and pushing our way through it. It's important to note that I didn't always get these on the first attempt. It did take a few tries. Sometimes I get them on the first attempt. Other times it takes a few tries. The more you do it, the better you get. I'm used to doing it with a speed infusion on different accounts. This account doesn't have one, so it kind of threw me off my game a bit. I think it's just easier in general the faster you're going, which is why we're waiting for our super speed from our Spear 4. It's why we wait for the swiftness. It's why we're running a Relic of Speed, and it's why ideally you should have an Ascended Air Breather or Water Breather and have the infusion in it for the speed. With all those things, it does make this more consistent. Beyond that, your lineup is pretty important, just doing your lineup. Other people I've shown how to do this have found that the time warp is better than just using your spear for super speed for some reason. I don't know why. But anyways, we're going to shimmy behind this supply hut. We're going to blink above, and there we are. So I've got one more to show you. It's going to be over into Inner Bay on Alpine BL. All right, so here we are on Alpine BL. We're on Green BL. We own the keep. We have a waypoint, which is nice because the area that I just pushed the mouse towards is the area we're going to be breaking out of the map. Now there's multiple places to break out of the map. This one just happens to be my favorite. We're using the exact same method. The only thing I can go over here is about lineup. So it's always got to be against this wall, and then I look for this brightest piece of grass, which is like a question mark looking one. And when I have the speed infusion, I go from right here where the shadow reaches the sunlight. And from here, I would normally get it, but I'm going to show you a failed attempt since I haven't showed you any of those. Show you what that looks like. So here we set that up, and I just fly up. I don't even think I maybe didn't look all the way down before I did my holding right click, shimmy left right. So realizing that I don't have the speed rune, I'm like, oh right, my lineups are not going to work. So instead, I just placed myself right on top of the bright piece. And then we're just going to do the same thing. My Spear 4 is on cooldown, so I'm waiting, but I'm pretty sure this time it's successful. Now there's 2 outcomes that can happen for this one. for this breaking out of the map. The first outcome is this. We're trapped inside this wall and we can't swim around about the map. So we need to break out a second time of the map. So a couple things we're doing here. We're lining up our character with that pillar that's aiming downward, that arrow, and then we're just swimming back a bit and going underwater. Not too complicated. I don't think I get it the first try. I think this takes 2 tries, so let's see how the first one goes. Waiting on my swiftness. There it is. Give me super speed, and then shatter with 3. So I didn't break out, but the lineup was good. I'm in the right spot. And you can kind of see that V right there, or that A, the sort of triangle in the water to let you know you're lined up in the right spot. So we're going to give it another shot. My about face didn't work there, so I had to manually turn around, which, could break the lineup, but we're just kind of winging it to see how it goes. So here we go. Super speed's back. We already have our swiftness, and boom, we're out of the map. So alternatively, there's times when you do that breaking out of the map there, and you just go straight into this area, the wide open bottom of the map. I'm glad that it was the second method because I got to show you both breakouts instead of just the one. There's other spots in the map that you can break out. I have a completely different one in my my part 2 video of breaking into objectives. But yeah, so this one's probably the best one because the other 2 that I've shown you are for towers, which are outer towers, which aren't the best. And one was for outer keep, which isn't the best because who wants to go into outer keep, right? You'd much rather go into inner keep. So for this one, we get to go all the way up to inner. And because it's bay and it's full of water, it means that it's very low to the map and that we have options to jump right in. So here we are through outer, and we swim under these rocks here, and we will find a big square block right there to our right. And attached to those are stairs. So we just walk up the stairs till we're out of the water, blink up, and there we go. So that's it. That's the extent of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know.